Okay, today on Q&A, we've got a question from Wayne Trader. It's pretty long. Got it right here on Facebook, and I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you guys. Then we'll get on with answering the question. One of my greatest annoyances with RC is the partial sponsorships for club racers and the downfall of the local hobby shop. Everyone has to be hashtag so pro, and even the folks who are just starting out are trying to get sponsors. And look, the whole thing is just entirely intimidating to people who may want to get into the hobby for some weekend fun. How can we preserve our local hobby shops, tracks, and family environment when they struggle to even make it competing with online hobby shops and club racers that don't even shop at the track unless they break a part that they didn't have in their box? Well, Wayne, that question was a mouthful for sure, but you're raising a lot of really good questions. And I've shot a series of sponsorship videos a long time ago that I never released because I just didn't want to deal with all the haterade that I knew would be coming my way. But let's talk about it for a minute. In life, my motto in life is, I guess, everything in moderation. I guess there are some things that I overdo. I kind of get that obsessive compulsive personality where I overdo things. And there's an old saying, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And I think a lot of us live by that. And I think that a lot of people in this hobby tend to be very competitive by nature. It gives us an outlet to compete when our bodies either can't deal with any more damage or we're just not willing to sustain injuries through motocross or real auto racing or things like that, or maybe our budgets hold us back. But the 50 off sponsorship is becoming a real issue. And I'll tell you that I've actually had a manufacturer call me because someone used me as a reference. This person didn't tell me they were going to use me as a reference, but they did. And he says, hey, I've got this guy, what do you think? And I said, look, I'm not going to vouch for him. He's not a bad guy, but I'm not going to vouch for him. And he says, well, Jason, if I don't give this guy a sponsorship, somebody else will. Now that's a problem. That's a real problem. And so what's happening, our manufacturers are using these 50% sponsorships to buy customers at the end of the day. And so it's a slippery slope that we're on. I mean, it is a really slippery slope. I could tell you some gnarly stories about 50 off sponsorships back from leisure hours when I used to club race there and help out in the hobby shop. But I'm not sure what the answer is, Wayne. I'm really not. I think at the end of the day, there's a balance. These tire companies and chassis companies, they need some maybe class coverage at a track. So when you see a company like, let's just say Team Associated, when they have guys that run, you'll say maybe one or two guys that run they have good class coverage, a couple guys or whatever, say maybe 4 guys at a track out of 100 racers or something like that. It's not too bad. You got a guy that kind of does the stock thing, a guy that does the mod thing, and maybe some guys that do short course or something like that, or 8th scale. But when you have 30 guys that all run for that company, now that's destructive, and that's wrong in my opinion. I think that as a manufacturer, there's a balance, and I think that a lot of these manufacturers, when their marketing doesn't go the way they want it to, when they've overstepped and they're not as profitable as they want to be, especially the little guys. The little guys seem to do it worse than anybody. I'm not letting JConcepts and Proline and all these other companies off the hook entirely. They're not getting away scot-free on this one. But the little guys tend to do it as bad as anybody. And the little guys that don't have deals with distributors and aren't selling directly to hobby shops, they're the ones that are even more aggressively pursuing local drivers. And I don't know, man. We're in a real jam here. I would love to buy things from my local hobby shop, and I try to when I can. But a lot of times people don't know this, but a lot of these little hobby shops have minimum orders when they deal with their distributors. So if you want a $10 package of screws, but they have to place a $500 or $600 order, they may not have a $500 or $600 order ready to go, and so your order might not get placed for weeks. And so we're in a tough situation here. I really don't know what the answer is, but there's no question that far too many people use sponsorships as an ego boost. It's kind of a pissing contest at the track. Oh, I'm sponsored. And so many of you know, Wayne, I'm sure you know that I don't have any sponsors. And to be honest with you, when I beat guys that are sponsored, I'll tease the hell right out of them. I don't even care. I think it's hilarious. But But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. There's a very kind of a convoluted, kind of a complicated situation here. Let's just talk about JConcepts. JConcepts makes all kinds of cool stuff: tires, bodies, wheels, gadgets, tools. Well, JConcepts sells to a distributor, like let's just say Great Plains or Horizon or whatever, and then hobby shops buy from them. The issue that we have is that everybody's taking a cut. So the hobby shop sells to the distributor, they take a cut, then they sell to the hobby shop, they take a cut. And so what's happening, everybody's kind of charging for value, right? So the hobby shop, if you own a hobby shop and you've got 500 different brands in there or whatever, let's just say 100 brands, right? Team Associated, Losi, Axial, Avid, whatever. JConcepts, Proline, AKA, and not to mention all the board games and things like that. No hobby shop owner wants to place 50 orders a month or 200 orders a month from different manufacturers. So the service that the distributors provide is by kind of like one-stop shop. They have a consolidated inventory. The hobby shops can order from them, and that's the service they provide. But what's happening are guys, from what I'm aware of, companies like A-Main are able to go ahead and shop direct because they buy in big enough volumes from a lot of the manufacturers. They have these dedicated ordering departments, and they end up being able to buy probably at a better value, or even if they buy at the same price that the distributor buys from the manufacturer, they sell direct to the public, and there's no middleman, and so they're able to provide more value. And so I don't know, we're in a very kind of a fluid time right now where things are changing. With how fast shipping has become through services like Amazon, Amazon Prime, free 2-day shipping on anything you buy, FedEx, UPS, USPS, able to ship things so much more quickly. I don't know, we're kind of in flux right now. We're in a very different environment, and I don't know how things are going to work out. I don't know how this whole kind of convoluted mess that we have going on is going to play out. But I do know that we need the 50% drivers. We just don't need so many of them. Hope I answered your question, Wayne. I guess that's the best I got. I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed this video, you'd be doing me a huge favor if you could either like, comment, or even better, subscribe. I post a lot of stuff on social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, stuff like that. So if you want to catch up with me, I'll post this stuff up for you, and you can come on over, add me as a friend, follow me on Instagram, and you'll be able to see things that just don't make it to YouTube. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.